Most kings build empires or conquer new lands, but this king tore his entire country apart and triggered a centuries-long religious war, all because he wanted a divorce. You might know the schoolyard rhyme about his 6 wives: divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. Athletic, handsome, and fiercely intelligent. He married his brother's widow, Catherine of Aragon. For over 20 years, they operated as a highly effective, powerful political team. There was only one problem. After multiple tragic miscarriages and infant deaths, Catherine could not give Henry a surviving male heir. In the 16th century, the lack of a son signaled the imminent collapse of the Tudor dynasty. Henry knew that without a male heir, England would spiral back into civil war the moment he died, making Catherine's biology a matter of national security. Enter Anne Boleyn. She was young, fiercely ambitious, and completely intoxicating to Henry. He decided he had to marry her. Standing in his way was the Pope in Rome, who flatly refused to grant Henry an annulment from Catherine. So, Henry fired the Pope. He completely severed England from the Catholic Church, isolating the nation. He rewrote national theology to make himself absolute supreme head of the Church of England, consolidating all religious and political power into his own hands. The immediate human cost was brutal. He banished his loyal wife of 2.5 decades, stripping her of her titles just to put a crown on Anne's head. The pursuit of a single divorce had mutated the English monarchy. By placing himself above the Pope, Henry became a legally untouchable autocrat, wielding a level of power previously unknown to English kings. The irony is that the schism didn't even solve his problem. Anne Boleyn gave him a daughter, the future Elizabeth I, but no son. Henry's obsession quickly curdled into lethal paranoia. He accused Anne of treason and witchcraft, convincing himself she had plotted against his life. Less than 3 years after tearing Europe apart to marry her, Henry had a French swordsman chop off her head inside the Tower of London. Within 24 hours of Anne's execution, he was engaged to Jane Seymour. She finally gave him the son he craved, but died from infection just days after the birth. Next came Anne of Cleves. Henry agreed to the marriage blindly, basing his decision entirely on a highly flattering painted portrait. When she arrived in England, he claimed she looked like a horse and was physically repulsed. The marriage lasted barely 6 months before he demanded a divorce. He then married a teenager named Catherine Howard. When he discovered she was having an affair, he didn't stop at sending her to the executioner's block at 19. He systematically destroyed her entire extended family. By this point, the English court had descended into a lethal survival game. Success and safety now depended entirely on navigating a paranoid tyrant's shifting moods. The Golden Prince of Europe was gone. In his final years, Henry was severely obese, suffering from rotting leg ulcers and terrified of assassination. You can literally track his physical decline through his armor. By the end of his life, his waistline spanned over 50 inches, and he required mechanical hoists just to get onto his horse. His 6th and final wife, Catherine Parr, spent her marriage as a palliative nurse. She spent her days managing the open sores and explosive temper of a dying man. His body finally gave out in 1547. He left behind a fractured church, a trail of dead bodies, and a traumatized nation. He severed his nation's ancient faith and murdered his own wives, all to secure a male dynasty. He chased a male heir his entire life, yet ironically, his most lasting legacy was his daughter, Elizabeth I, who became one of the greatest monarchs in British history. Which of Henry's 6 wives do you pity the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you want more dark history delivered straight to your feed, hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.